glimpse of what that was like and what sort of lessons you already learned when it came to entrepreneurship and even handling money as a whole?
I come from a very entrepreneurial family, so like during dinner time, we talk about business in the dinner table. It's not a taboo. It's not like in other families, 5 o'clock, no more work. We just talk about other things. But with us, I grew up. My dad had a manufacturing business. He sold Jeeps, exported to the U.S. And my mom had a school. So during dinner time, they talk about the business. They talk about the challenges. They talk about what they were busy with that day. But it never seemed like a big problem to us. They'd always discuss the problems, but there'll always be solutions. How they overcame those challenges. So growing up, to me, I thought of business as being fun. It's not really work. Because I saw my dad having fun, I saw my mom having fun. I mean, they control their own time. So that's why I guess all of us, my siblings and I, we got into business. It was automatic for all of us after graduation to put up our own business.
Right. Did they ever force you to say, "Oh, Romel, go to the school, do this," or "Romel, go to the manufacturing plant"? Did you have any memories like that?
Yeah, they did that during summer. Summertime, because during summer we didn't get an allowance. Because they said, "Okay, you're not going to school anyway, so we don't need to give you money. You get food at home." So anyway, my dad said, so you guys have to be busy. So my brother and I, we used to paint old chairs and tables in my mom's school. So we would sandpaper it and then paint it, and we'd get money for that. When my dad had constructions, I would pick up the used nails, and straighten them up and sell them back to my dad. I used to sell a lot of stickers, and my dad would always be encouraging. So one time he came from Taiwan, I remember, and then he gave me a toy. It's a toy spider that when you throw it on a shiny wall, it would crawl down.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
So anyway, he gave me 10.
Right.
I was like, "Dad, thanks." He gave me 10. He said, "Hey, only one is yours. The rest you sell." Okay. So I was like, "So how do I do it?" He said, "The one that's yours, use that as your demo." So when I'd go to school, during recess, I'd find a shiny wall in front of everybody, and I'd throw it on the wall, and then everyone's like, "Hey, it's like a real spider."
There's your guerrilla marketing.
And that's my demo, that's my guerrilla marketing, and that's how I sold all of it. So, so it was, I think, encouragement for from our family, and really the exposure that I had was what helped us really get into business.
Right. And those days when they asked you to go to the shops and do the nail fixing and all, even if you were an artist, you're saying you never resented that?
No, it's better than doing nothing. So we've always wanted to be productive all the time naman. So even in college, because I studied in LaSalle, and our office is like a few blocks away. So I'd park in the office, and I'd go to school, and then during breaks I'd go to the office because my dad was there, and he was exposing us early on, really. So he's not really a classroom kind of guy, So he'd bring you, and then he'd let you observe during meetings and things like that. So I remember I was like maybe 12, but I was with him talking to like bank presidents, and I was just there, observing, the dynamics of it, which helped me, of course, when
So Romel, would you say that your father has been the greatest influence in your life when it comes to learning about business and money?
When it comes to business.
Tell me, so far in those growing years, what would you say is the one biggest lesson you got?
When I started Binalot, the growth was really fast, and I think it reached a point where we grew too fast. So, and then I guess our support structure wasn't enough already to support our franchisees, and that's when we had financial problems. That's when, of course, I went to my dad again, and then he advised me, you have to control your expenses. He'd always say, and just yesterday he said it again.
It sounds simple, no?
Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
You should not, you should never spend more than what you earn. So it's a basic thing with business as well. So that's when we reeled everything in, and then we closed the stores that were not performing very well, and then we took out the fat in the organization, and we just really made it lean. With that, we readjusted, and that's when we started growing again.
Okay.
So that was like, I'd say, because we're entering 20 years for Binalot already next year. In business, I learned that the first year is always the hardest, you know? But if you survive 3 years, so medyo steady ka na. If you survive 7 years, that's you're medyo mature na.
The idea behind Binalot, which is using banana leaves as wrappers for food, has captivated many Filipinos as it brings traditional fare to everyday food. And for Binalot founder and CEO Romel Tambunting Juan, what it brings back are old childhood memories of him and his family having a picnic in their farm in Cavite, eating adobo wrapped in banana leaves. Juan and his team started in a small condo in Makati before opening up their first branch in 1996. With his passion, a dedicated team, and financial aid from his father, he was able to create what Binalot is today, a no-frills restaurant that serves all-time Filipino favorites.
We started cooking adobo, you know, and we would just sell to the neighbors, you know. And what I did was we started with flyers. We just gave flyers around the building, because you can't give it far, because you can't deliver it that far, you know, because we only had foot soldiers.
Yeah, yourselves. Yeah.
Ourselves, well, I took the calls, and you know, we wrapped the food, but we had foot soldiers who delivered it. No? So that's how we started. So it started as a delivery business. When the condo building started to smell like adobo and the neighbors were complaining, so we had to leave. So our very first commercial area was in Jupiter Street in Makati. We got a 20 square meter place there. And it's funny because I got 5 investors, and we put 10,000 each, 10,000 pesos, so 50,000.
Initial capital.
Initial capital,
Okay.
no,
50
and
grand.
50 grand, and so we got that 20 square meter place, and I invested like most of the money in the big signage, and we painted the walls. I didn't have enough money to renovate the inside of the place anymore, so we just made what we did. We made the windows dark, so when somebody order, we just open, yes sir, because he didn't want them to see the back
operation.
because the back operation was really not nice. And then we invested in motorcycles. This was I guess about 97, about mid 97.
About a year after you experimented,
Yeah, so we started investing in motorcycles to deliver, but it was COD. COD means care of daddy. So I borrowed money from my dad again. I borrowed that money, but my dad said, okay, but you have to pay interest and give me PDCs.
Yes.
So I was able to pay him naman, no? But that's when we invested. I think we invested in 6 motorcycles, so we can deliver farther than the village now. So we got to deliver in the rest of Makati, the CBD, the Central Business District. And basically, it's funny because when that time there was a popular magazine that was being given away. It's called Delivery.ph. No, not even Delivery Pages.
Delivery Pages.
And Delivery Pages called us the darling of the delivery industry that time, because we were delivering about 500 meals a day.
What was the tipping point? I mean, bring me to the point where when this clicked.
There was an offer, you know. I think it was. Ayala. Ayala was the first one to give us a commercial space in a mall. This was in Greenbelt, near the church. They had a little kiosk there. So that's when we were like, hey, how come they're, you know, maybe they believe in us already, you know, they've heard of us, you know. So we were kind of flattered that Ayala gave us. But it was a very small kiosk, so we went into that. We still didn't want to get into the mall. You know. I think the tipping point of entering the mall was with Shangri-La Plaza, because Shangri-La Plaza offered us a space in the food court.
There you go.
So, and then again, so when we entered that, we didn't have much money yet, you know? So you had to pay for a security deposit, you had to construct. You know, we had to, what we did
COD
was,
again?
Well, no more COD.
No more COD.
But I drew up the plans myself, you know, and then we did the painting ourselves, you know, and we saved a lot on construction. And then the old tenant, you know, we just bought their equipment and paid them, like gave them a post-dated check. So we made it all fit in.
Wow.
Again. Yeah. So I learned a lot from that experience also, and that's when we started entering the malls.
So we've looked a little bit at the early years, what happened, what shaped the man, Romel Juan. We're now going to return with a story of what is now happening in the business and the learnings he's had. Stay tuned. You're watching On the Money.